We're back, lovely people. Welcome to Jacobism. You know, as always, we only deal in bangers, and of course today is no different. Today, I'm going to share with you how to not only be okay with being alone, but more than okay. In my life, I have been arguably prematurely thrusted into a life of loneliness, and despite being scared at first, I am only grateful for the lessons that I have learned since. I hope in today's video, with the points that I'm going to make in regard to loneliness, that they help you find peace in your loneliness. Let's get into it. So in this first point, I'm going to share with you that home is actually within you. My 6 subscribers will likely know this, but I'm a filthy Oliver Twist orphan. My dad died at the age of 6 and my mum at the age of 15, and this thrusted me into a world of solitude. At first, I absolutely shat myself, but eventually I came to terms with my grief and began to fulfill my duties, whether that be financially, health, or miscellaneous terms. But there was times when I did feel lonely. Almost 3 years ago, I moved out of my family home to rent it. In the last 3 years, my movements from home to home can really only be described as vagrancy. Generally speaking, I much preferred the money despite the frequent self-inflicted evictions. However, I will say that I did long to go home, and the constant moving around with multiple plastic bags, one of which possessing my birth certificate, was taking its toll and getting rather draining. However, I asked myself whether a geographical return would resolve this aching and longing that I had within me, and I realised it wouldn't. And therefore, in order to settle these issues, I needed to find home within me, and that's what I did. If perhaps recently you have taken on more responsibilities, altered your lifestyle, or are in unfamiliar lands and you feel a little bit homesick, you should ask yourself whether a return home, a brief abdication from your obligations, would resolve these longings and aches that you have within you in any long-lasting and meaningful way. When I personally realised it wouldn't, I knew I needed to find home within me. I had to find a way to self-suffice the comforts that I longed for. I will share some practical advice later in this video, but upon doing so, I now know that I can go anywhere in the world and neutralise any feelings of homesickness that might arise. Home is not a geographical place, but a spiritual one. Now in this second point, I'm going to share with you some of the realities of isolation. First off, if you're feeling a bit lonely or whatever, know that this feeling is likely a positive sign. You are likely doing something uncomfortable and on the cusp of developing significantly as an individual. Do not correlate an inner anxiety with the result of solitude when you are likely doing something new and believed to be out of the realm of your competency. I promise you that ache and longing you have is a positive sign. Our next reality is that it is an inevitability that you will have to face at some point. Sooner or later, you will lose all the people you love because all relationships must come to an end one day. Remember, better them than you, because would you rather they experience the loss of you or the other way round? Despite this seeming otherwise, this is a good thing. Life's finite nature gives it its value and excitement. As such, this unavoidable fact of life will come knocking on your door one day, and all you can do is flaccidly prepare for it. Our last reality of isolation is that if you can't find happiness in being alone, I'm sorry, but you're absolutely fucked. If you do not learn to self-ingratiate your validation, you will likely engage not only in unhealthy relationships with others, platonic and romantic, but you won't be able to likely engage with yourself in any healthy material way. Sadly, and we all know these people who go in and out of relationships because they lack an ability to self-serve and feel a need to seek the approval of others. However, if you can learn to find peace in your isolation, you will never feel a need to be with others, but a want that if need be, you could go without. Lastly on this, you will know how to make yourself happy and therefore won't compromise yourself and will know how to utilize others in order to further your happiness. In this third and final point, I'm going to share with you some practical advice as to how you can find peace and be happy with being alone. Top of the list must be don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. And if you really want to cut the fucking snake's head off, then pause or delete your social medias. That way you won't have a constant reminder and being updated on what people are doing. But if you decide that is too radical, do remember that people only ever put their best face forward. I've also found that doing good things for me has helped a lot. I won't go into too much detail now, but when my mum left, she gave me some parting advice, which was work hard. For years, I had no fucking idea why and how that was going to help, but only after doing so did I realise. It served as evidence that I could do this life thing without her. And so when I say good things, I don't just mean going to a nice restaurant, losing some money at a casino, or going to gay clubs to pose as a gay, all in an effort to befriend some women. What I really mean is that you should go to the gym and look after your health. You should save and build your wealth and take time to check in with yourself, whatever the fuck that means. In today's world, there's an immense pressure to always be doing something, hustling it out. But sometimes just sitting alone, observing your thoughts can be great for you. And lastly, for some small things, go on a walk, listen to some music and dance when no one's looking. Maybe even talk to some old people. They're never in a rush, they've got great stories to share, and they're likely a bit lonely too. And now it is time to end, my lovely 6 subscribers. I hope that today's video has shown you that being or feeling alone is entirely natural and is a part of life. I also hope that you enjoyed it and have at least one thing that can serve you. Thank you all for watching. I wish you the best on your journeys. And if you want some more voluptuous, juicy content, then hit that big fat red fucking button.